Hello, my name is Matthew Johnson. It is December 29th, 2024. FTT 100, Week 7, Introduction to Firearms. Today's project is on cycle of operation and proper maintenance of firearms cleaning procedures. Right now I'm going to go ahead and visualize and inspect my firearm, which is the S&W M&P 2.0 9mm. Nothing in the chamber, and nothing in the magazine well. And for demonstration purposes, I have the magazine for this pistol, nothing in there. And I do have an SDI provided 9mm with no primer or powder in there. SDI provided. Right now we're going to go through the cycles of operations: the feeding, the chambering, the locking, the firing, the unlocking, extracting, ejecting, and cocking. Again, this is the M&P 2.0 9mm S&W. Nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine well. And for demonstration purposes, we're going to use the magazine that was provided with the weapon and the SDI provided 9mm round cartridge. No primer, no powder. So right now we're going to go through the functions, the 8 functions, the cycles of operations. We have the feeding of the cartridge and stripped from the magazine against the bolt and breech with the face. So right now we're going to go ahead and load the SDI provided magazine round, the cartridge, into the magazine, like so. We're going to load it into the magazine well and charge the round. Right now it is that was the feeding of the round. The cartridge is stripped from the magazine against the bolt or breech face. Chambering, the cartridge held in place by the extractor is pushed into the barrel chamber by the bolt or breech face. Locking, the bolt, breech face, or cylinder is locked into the position with the bore or barrel. Through the locking, the mechanical alignment of the major parts within the firearm will ensure the gas expansion is captured and focused on propelling the bullet through the bore and ensuring the operation of the semi-auto firearm once locked and the weapon is ready to fire. Firing, a trigger is pressed here, rotates the sear, which sends the firing pin or striker against the primer, causing ignition of the powder, this resulting in the expansion within the chamber cartridge, which propels the projectile and through the barrel bore. Unlocking, in semi-automatic weapons, the gas expansion causes the backward movement of the bolt, sliding the bolt or slide breech of the pistol, unseating the cartridge case from the chamber, like so. Locking the chamber to the rear. Again, extraction, continuing backwards, movement of the bolt or slide breech face in the semi-automatic weapons, causing the extractor to pull the cartridge case out of the chamber. Again, the shooter manually performs the action in other types of the guns, causing the slide to lock to the rear. There is nothing in the chamber, nothing in the magazine. The round was extracted. And then on to the next step would be the ejection. Prior to the termination of the backward movement of the bolt, the slide breech face, the cartridge case being pulled by the extractor comes in contact with the extractor, which pulls the spent cartridge case through the ejection port. The cocking, during the backward movement of the bolt, the slide breech face while extracting or ejection is taking place, the hammer or striker is engaged by the sear and cocked for the resumption of the cycle of operation. The shooter manually performs this action or other types of weapons, note in like double action or and single action guns, cocking and firing the incorporation into the action of the trigger pull. So right now we're going to go ahead and go into the step 2, cleaning the barrel and the weapon. The weapon is safe, nothing in the chamber. Go ahead, let that slide right forward. Pull the trigger, remove the slide. So right now in step 2, we're going to scrub the barrel with the solvents and paying particular attention to the feed ramp here. And we're going to clean the bore with a bore brush along with a copper solvent and patches. Dry the bore completely. No oil is necessary in the chamber in the bore. We would use this to clean the barrel. Attach this to that to scrub the barrel with that. And add in a little bit of COP and then make sure it's nice and dry. With that, we would go ahead and clean the outside of the barrel, all around these sides, and make sure any kind of the shining of the barrel, we want to make sure we put a lot of lubricant on that. Well, I apologize, not a lot of lubricant, just a little bit. With that being said, after the barrel, we're going to go ahead and clean the little receiver. All these little shiny parts, this is a pretty new weapon or firearm. We're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of lubricant here on these sides. And anything shiny, in my eyes, is what we would use to add a little bit of the cleaning lubricant and protection lubricant solvent. And in doing so, you want to make sure you remove all the dirt, the grime, the lint, the solvent, or the carbon buildup. You want to make sure you remove all that from any of these moving parts that you have in here, or the bolt. And when we move on to the magazine, we can go ahead and remove, but for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to do that with this. This is a work pistol carry. You would lubricate all the magazine or the spring inside here. Make sure it's nicely lubricated, clean, there's no dust, no debris, or anything like that. So I hope this video is good enough to have a great day. Thank you.